Today's video is sponsored by .store. Go to get.store to get your own custom domain for only $1.99 using code TaraLee. One of the most important parts about a business, other than the product they sell or the service they provide, is the business's name. This is the first thing that people hear when they discover your business, and it's actually the first, probably most important decision you're going to have to make before actually starting your business. So your business's name could really impact the success or lack of success of your business. So you really want to make sure you're choosing a good name. But this can be pretty difficult because there are so many businesses already established today. But in today's video, I actually compiled a list of tips for you guys and just things that I considered when I chose my business name, TaraLee. So hopefully these tips will help you guys choose a successful name for your future business. So my first tip is a name that is easy to spell and easy to pronounce. So the issue with having a business that is hard to spell or hard to pronounce is this makes it harder for customers to find you. So if one of your friends tells you about a business and you're like, oh, sweet, want to check it out, and then you go home and you try to look them up on the internet, that may make it to where that customer is not able to find you, and that's a potential sale that you could have had that you lost. Or if your name is hard to pronounce, well, a lot of people might be saying your business's name wrong. So when somebody tells somebody else about your business, they go and search that name and they can't find it because that person pronounced your business's name wrong. So the reasoning you want to make sure you have a good name that is easy to pronounce and easy to say is just so people can find you easier. Now, when your business is a really large business, this may not affect you as much since you're so large, but for us small business owners, this is really something we need to consider. A name that has meaning to you or to your business. So this can either be you personally, just something that means a lot to you that you know you'll never end up hating, and something that sort of makes you feel more passionate because your business reflects that. Or maybe if your business has like a mission statement behind it or some kind of goal it's trying to achieve, you can have a business name that reflects that mission behind your business. Something you won't end up hating. So this kind of goes with the tip I just gave. You want to make sure you have a name that you're not going to end up hating like a couple years down the line. And picking something that has meaning to you is a really good way to make sure you don't end up hating it. For example, I chose TaraLee for my business name because I have come to love my name, and TaraLee came from my own personal name, so I know I'm never going to end up hating it, so that's why I chose to go with it as my business name. Another thing I feel like some businesses might do is if something is like really trendy at the moment, they might make their business sort of revolve around that specific trend, but then maybe a couple years down the line that trend is gone, and then you kind of end up hating that business name because it's not even like a trend anymore. So you really just want to make sure it's something that you're always going to like and just a name you're going to be proud of. A name that is unique, but not so different that people won't remember it. So I feel like there's a fine line between choosing a name that is like so different to choosing a name that is different that makes it cool and memorable. So a unique name can impact your customers to be more likely to remember it and be more likely to like want to share it with other people because it's so unique and different. But sometimes it could be so unique and different that people can't seem to remember it or even grasp like how to even pronounce it or how to spell it or even like what the word could even like possibly mean. So I think it is good being unique, but I think there's a cap to, I feel like, how unique you can be. Don't let the name limit your business. Okay, so my business name is registered as TaraLee. So my technical business is just TaraLee. But as you can see on Instagram and on Etsy, my name is TaraLee Skincare. And that's obviously because TaraLee was taken on Etsy and TaraLee was taken on Instagram. So having the name skincare in my business does actually limit my business to only selling skincare products or having my customers have the impression that I only sell skincare products. So that is really something to consider when choosing your brand's business name. You don't want it to limit your brand. Something catchy or something that rolls off the tongue. I think something that's like fun to say or something that's really memorable is a really fun business name. Ask friends and family for their opinion. So even though you may really like a business name, that doesn't mean everybody else is also going to like it. So even though it is your business and you can do whatever you want, it is really important to make sure people like your business's name because your business is also for other people. So you want to make sure they like the name as well. So getting other people's opinion, I think, is really, really important when choosing a business name. I was very, very hesitant on going with TaraLee, but a lot of people said it just rolled off the tongue. It was short and it was a reflection of me myself. So a lot of people really liked it. That's why I ended up going with it. Also, I couldn't think of anything better, so I went with TaraLee. So just make sure you're getting other people's opinion when making such an important decision for your business. Check with the Secretary of State to make sure the name is even available. So before you get too attached to the name, you just want to make sure that you're legally allowed to use it. So you need to go to the Secretary of State's website for your state, search the name, see if it's available before you actually go to do anything with that name. Do a quick Google search and see what else pops up when you search your business's name. You really don't want your business to sort of be, associated with other negative things, or maybe just things that you personally don't want your business to be next to. So maybe something that's like competition, or maybe something that's just like, just gives negative feelings or something when people search it. Like, I don't know, maybe you want to pick a business name, but then you search that business's name and it was like a scary movie from the 80s or something. And then you're like, well, I don't want my name to be associated with a scary movie because that might like make people not like it. I don't know, that's the only example I can think of right now. I don't know, I just think it's really important to make sure your business isn't popping up next to other things that you don't want your business to be associated with when people search you on Google. And lastly, you want to register your business's domain as soon as possible. Even if you don't plan on having a website for maybe a year or so, you want to register it as soon as possible, because 70% of domain name availability checks actually fail. This is because so many other people have already registered domain names on popular top-level domains, so it's becoming really slim pickings. So .store domain extensions can actually take the stress out of domain availability checks by providing a solution. So thank you so much, .store, for sponsoring this part of the video. By using .store domain name extension instead of .com or .net, there's actually a greater chance that the domain name you're looking for will be available. So .store is a domain extension exclusively used for e-commerce store. A store is a place you go to purchase something. So by sharing the sentiment in your domain name allows your customer to know exactly who you are and what you provide. For the longest time, I was so frustrated that TaraLee.com was taken. And it's not even a website, somebody just owns the domain. So I could have used TaraLeeSkincare.com, but I really like the simplicity of just TaraLee. And like I said earlier, TaraLee Skincare actually keeps my brand in a box. So this is why I preferred TaraLee over TaraLee Skincare. But now with .store domains, I can have TaraLee.store as my domain name. It's short, it's sweet, and it tells my customers exactly what my website is, a store. Another thing that I think is important to mention is that even if you sell on Amazon or if you have an Etsy shop like me, you can still use .store domain extensions. I have mine as TaraLee.store, and it'll take you directly to my Etsy shop. So just because you don't have an actual website, you can still use .store as a domain name. Another thing I really like about it is that it's different. So I feel like it's going to be more likely to be remembered by customers. It's not so different that people are going to forget it. People are going to be like, oh, .store instead of .com? That's kind of cool. And they're going to be more likely to remember it and more likely to go home and search you up, and you'll have more potential customers. So since the .store domain ecosystem isn't as overcrowded as older domain extensions, you're more likely to be able to get the exact name that you're wanting for your domain name. Examples of other companies who are using .store as their extension is PewDiePie.store, DudePerfect.store, Nike.store, Urban Dictionary.store, Kindle.store, TaraLee.store, and many more. So if you're interested in purchasing .store as your domain extension, then go to get.store or click the link in my description box. I will also have the link in the comment section. It'll be the top pinned comment. Click that link, use my code TaraLee, and you can get your domain extension for only $1.99 for an entire year. That is $27.01 off your purchase. So thank you so much, .store, for sponsoring this video. So I do hope you guys enjoyed the tips that I shared in this video. Best of luck to you and your future business. Make sure you snatch up that domain name as quick as you can. If you want to start a business, buy the domain, even if you don't plan on having a website for a couple years. You want to snatch that up as soon as you can. So let me know if you have any tips for choosing a business name, or maybe things that you considered when choosing your business name. Leave them down in the comments below. And yeah, thank you again, .store, for sponsoring this video. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Later. Stardust Bath & Body, Nature's Farm Girl, Kennedy's Essentials, LettsBlend, Wallflower, Heartfelt Beauty, KAJ Bath & Body, Blue Mint Soaps, Salt Air Label, Linny's Beauty, Shark City Naturals, Ohana Lay, Danny Botanicals, Hempy Girl, Brie Maquillage, Alchemy and Clay, Bible Belt Boutique, London Latris, Naturally Flawless, Beauty by Riza, Hijab Spa, Facial Daily Rituals, and Amore Bath & Beauty. I also sell skincare products myself over on Etsy. I'll have my Etsy shop link down below, along with all my lovely patrons.
I'm stuck in the motions. I've been consumed by the wrath of time like I'm I'm shattered in this life. It's still the path that I've chosen. Because I've had a vision, now I'm on a mission to find myself